I opened this conference and they've asked me to introduce the closing keynote speaker. So all that really remains to be said is, and now, a man who needs no introduction.
How often do you get to a point where you come on stage, start your laptop, and realize, hey, I don't need slides. Right? It's been 2 wonderful days. Should we say that? Yeah. Yeah? Well, we've had a plethora of speakers. A lot of them giving us a lot of technical talk, non-technical talk, but you know what, in the end? It was all about karaoke. It was all about music. And do you know that among our speakers we can actually form a freaking band? Yeah, who's a musician? Really, we want him to be our musician? Yeah, sounds better. Alright, let's fight later on that. But Sam can be a musician. We need a composer. Daniel, Rails composer, it was there. Yeah? We have our lead vocalist, Keith, where are you? There he is. And we have our own very happy feet, Joy. Yeah? But the band is not complete without the backstage. Terence, you did a wonderful job. You'll make a wonderful event manager for this band. After all, you've done a lot of organizing events with misinformed data, am I right? And Ramon, you can do the money management, ensure that all the tickets are paid only by cryptocurrency. And of course, we need the bouncer. We had somebody speak on riot control. Darren, how about that? Well, we have a band in itself here, and among the other talks, I love the talk from Megan about quality. We can see who's a better singer between PJ and Sam later on today, and we'll definitely apply the techniques for quality control there. Of course, Will and Brian did a wonderful job explaining all the performance tips. We'll see how they get the metrics out of the band that's playing. And Brad, sheesh! T-Mux to you too, man. Daryl, you crazy bugger, you're actually listening to my talks? And he said he procrastinated on my talk. But you know what? Let's hope you keep the focus and ensure the flow of your systems are all in place when we are listening to the band. And finally, Hari, ensure to let me know if I fail fast. Alright, so it's been 2 days here, and it's enough of technical talks. Right? It's time to let your hair down and enjoy the rest of the show. Speaking of hair. Speaking of hair, come on, I know you guys are jealous of my hair. All 3 of them. Hey, I love my hair. I groom them and shampoo them every day. You know what? I even sing to them. Just like you sing to plants to make them grow well, I sing to my hair. Ring-a-ring-a roses, pocket full of poses, husha, husha, don't fall down. Yeah, I've been told, you know, sometimes, just get rid of your hair altogether, man. And you can start shaving from here, go all the way up, keep going. Well, I don't know, Matt? Matt, it works. You do realize, by the way, Matt, I loved your talk. And when you're giving a lightning talk on Jiu-Jitsu, you should have dared the organizers. Get me off stage, man. I dare you. Yeah? Well, we have a very interesting personality in our audience. PJ, you're celebrating your 80th wedding anniversary. Oh, sorry. You meant 18 going on 80. Right? Well, Congratulations to you. But speaking of marriage, man, I had a mane of hair before marriage. You know, girls love to put their hands through my hair, and it felt good too. But then, after I got married, my hair, they renegaded on me. One final day, they held me to ransom and said, hey dude, it's either her or us. You have to give us enough attention. So, I can't take this lying down. I did the only manly thing I could do at that time. I asked my wife what I should do. I don't know, I haven't seen them in a long time then. Well, maybe it's old age. Who thinks growing bald is a sign of old age? Yeah? Dude, I think it's a sign of prosperity. Not everyone gets to stand here and give lightning talks for 45 minutes without getting kicked out. Yeah? So what do you consider old age? Gray hair? That's a sign of stress. Yeah? What if we think of, you go for your driver test, renewal test? Is that old age? Maybe you fail your driver's test because of bad eyesight. But I guess you're young enough to bribe. Yeah. I got a phone call the other day from this lady in a drone voice telling me, sir, this is to inform you that your 35-year-old insurance policy has just matured. Congratulations on still being alive. Anak na tukwa? I mean, come on! That's not what you do. So, I come from India. Anyone heard of those rumors about India being the land of elephants and snake charmers? Yeah, it's all true. Totally true. But we have one really good quality. We prefer to follow established trends. Right? Traditionally, we don't like to be the guinea pigs. We love it when somebody else has been there, done that, and then we'll follow. Well, NASA sent a mission to Mars, so India cannot be far behind. We had our own mission orbiter Mars, also known as Mom. Mom? Seriously? I can almost hear myself say, Mom, I'm going to Mars. And Mom says, come back to it and do the homework first. Then you can go and play the Martian with Christian Slater. Now, here's a true fact about the Mars orbiter mission from India. NASA spent $674 million on their mission to Mars. India spent 74 million. 674 million, 74 million. Now, do you know why so much of work is outsourced to India? And hey, I'm in the Philippines. I believe Philippines is the next outsourcing hub, yeah? So what are y'all planning to do? If we did Mom, are you all going to come up with what? Pop? Park on Pluto. Send the mission light years away. By the time you reach Pluto, you realize, oh fuck, Pluto's not even a planet anymore. And you say, Mom, I'm coming home. Well, going against the trends, 10 years ago, I started my company, Josh Software. 10 years ago, that's 2007. People in India did not know much about Ruby. But within 2 weeks of starting up the company as a Ruby on Rails shop, I get this phone call from the local newspaper saying, sir, we want to interview you. And I was like, yeah, I must be doing something right. Yes, sir, ask me. Sir, what do you do for the Indian Railways? And I was like, hang on. What? Sir, what are you doing for railways? I'm like, no, Ruby on Rails is a software frame. The phone was disconnected before I even finished the word framework. Well, times are changing though. Times are changing. If you now Google Ruby, it'll first show the language. Then maybe the gemstone or the jewel, and you browse down a few pages and you'll find Ruby. Ruby. Well, what does, do you know what Philippines has in common with India? Traffic jams. Traffic jams. I was on my way to the airport and I thought I would make it on time, and the traffic comes to a standstill. And I rolled down my window and asked somebody, sir, what happened? They're like, sir, holy cow is sitting in middle of road. When the cow yield, traffic will pass. And I went, shit, snap. It's like I'm on high on marijuana. And I go, whoa, the world is still, I'm having an out-of-body experience. I'm seeing myself there, I'm seeing that holy cow sitting in the middle of the road, and I hear the word yield. I can see a leaf of a tree and there's a bright light somewhere. And therein I see the divine, smiling, smug face of Max looking at me with a Dalai Lama smile saying, I know when I coded yield. The code of block that you want gets executed when I want it to, not when you want it to. And I was like, wow, Ruby, it rocks. So I finally landed up in the Manila airport. I get out of the airport. I come and find out, hey, I gotta get to this hotel. So I ask one of the people outside, hey, how do I get to the F1 hotel? And he says, sir, take taxi, 25 minutes. Or I could get you to the busy service road or the toll road. Toll road will be extra money. And I'm like, dude, I don't care, just get me to the hotel. That's what I care about. A person nearby said, son, old man, son, take the bus. It's cheaper. And a young, smug-looking young boy looks me up and down and says, walk. It's only 1.5 hours and looks like you need the exercise. And I was like, But I kept my cool. Because you know why? Because Ruby is human. All three jokers gave me the same answer. It'll get me from the airport to the hotel in a different context. Maybe it's cheaper, faster, one is healthier. But it gets you there. And if it gets you there, we know that Ruby has a way of doing 10 things at the same way in 10 different ways. But you get there. Well, moving on. What is the fastest way to get rich? What is that, Matt? Steal. I thought you meant yield. But I say get married to a rich person, rich old person, and wait. You can inherit all the good stuff, right? Well, thought of inheritance, you can inherit all the land and the jewelry and the money, but along with inheritance comes along the liability and the loans. And herein lies another secret where Ruby is so commonly human. Do you know that we inherit everything from our ancestors? The assets, the liabilities, their dirty socks, everything. Everything. Well, it's up to you if you want to wear what you have, their dirty linen that you have inherited. That's your call completely. But you inherit everything. Just like Ruby. All private methods, everything gets inherited. But then I often ask myself, hang on, let me backtrack a little bit. We were all aware that all private methods in Ruby get inherited, right? Right? And just nod your head. I'll feel nice, because if nothing else, at least this session had something more for you to learn. Yes, all private methods in Ruby get inherited. And then scratch your brains and figure out, what in God's name does protected do? Alright, so I found Ruby in every aspect of life. I found it on the road, in the holy cow. I found it in inheritance. It's even there in sport. So like, what's the craziest sport that you have got into, apart from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Somebody said something. Yes, sir? No. Think of it. Like, you know, sir, you're skydiving. Have you done skydiving? Yeah? Little bit. What does little bit of skydiving mean? Oh, jump from here. Okay. So think about this. You're skydiving at 15,000 feet for the first time. You're dangling out of the goddamn plane. Your instructor says, hey, put your feet under the plane. You're like, what? What? You're like, yeah, and dude, you're way far too ahead. There is only one way to go from here. Down. You're sitting at the edge of the plane. You're feeling the wind in your face. You're seeing all the clouds below. An Instagram moment. You're thinking, all right, my last photo before I die. And then your instructor gives you your last second instructions. Scenario 1. When you jump out of the plane, the wind velocity will take you at a particular angle, in British accent, and the reverse thrust will help you brake, and the NTSB records will ensure that the runway overrun actually helps you implement all this stuff, and all the time you're going, Sam! I don't want to die here! Scenario 2. Like the instructor gives you instructions. Hey! You jump out of the plane, pull this cord. If parachute no open, pull reserve chute. No open, brake. Well, in all honesty, which instruction would you like to hear? The second one. Well, there's Ruby for you. No need to look under the hood. You do not need to understand that an hash of 7 elements is stored like an array. I do not care how the sort function internally iterates over the collection, as long as it does my job. Just do it. That's what it's all about. Get the job done. Get the job done. Alright, that gives me an idea. How many software architects in the room? Guys, software architects, raise your hands high if you're proud of it. Rule number 1, stand-up comedy. Never volunteer. You're dead, man. You know, software architects, yeah, may their soul rest in peace. But software architects are like a cross between a racehorse and a donkey. They're supposed to have been in the races. They're supposed to have won races. They're supposed to have people betting on them. They know what is stress, strain, and getting whipped. They know how to do everything. But when it comes down to writing code, they're the ass in the word class. So software architects who don't code are like signposts on the freaking road. It's a guideline. Do it at your own risk. There's stairway to hell and highway to heaven. Okay. Well, when we're looking at different kind of aspects of Ruby, the one thing that we've always been concerned about is Ruby concurrency or Ruby multi-threading, right? It's like the movie which has a superb trailer, but it never got released. You know, luckily for y'all, I have exclusive preview to this movie on Ruby multi-threading. Let me introduce the cast first. There is Princess Ruby. There is King Max. There is the Guild. There is the Gil. I'll call it Jill because it's just fun. Spelled as GIL, the Global Interpreter Lock. And you have the band of the Ruby core team who made this thing called the Guild. And if it's good, interesting read for you, do read about Ruby concurrency models, where the guild forms a context where you can run multiple guilds in parallel so that you can have concurrency and move objects from one guild to the other. But let's not get technical, let's talk about the story. So the story goes that one day in the land of Ruby, Princess Ruby was kidnapped by the villain Gil and kept in a dungeon over a huge pit which ate up everything. The pit was the garbage collector. And Princess Ruby was hanging from the top by a single thread. Yeah, this band of revolutionists, Koichi-san, Nobu-san, Shibata-san, they all made the guild. They crept into the dangerous waters of the guild, managed to keep the floating device called the guild below Princess Ruby, and since Shibata-san knows how to release Ruby, cut the single thread. Princess Ruby landed safely on the guild, floated out to safety, and there was, in the land of concurrency, they never ever had a problem again, and everyone lived happily ever after with all their little gems. Well, Ruby actually has this movie. I hope sometimes ever gets released. You know what is the thing in India that we do best? The Great Indian Headshake. You all have it here? You know, your manager asks you a question and says, hey, did you understand what I said? Are you sure you understood what I said? I want the job done. Somebody, Will, you want to try it with me? Come on over. Come on over. Yeah. Give him a clap, guys. Let's do it together. One for practice. The Great Indian Headshake. Better? All right. Now, when I ask you a question, you should answer it, right? What do you think of the war on drugs in the Philippines? All right, thank you, Will. Yeah. It's good exercise, right? You know, there was a time when I was heavily into sport, and to keep fit, I used to go jogging. I gave it up. I gave up jogging. I was jogging one day in this park, and I came across this weight loss billboard. This weight loss billboard actually spoke about had a huge 120 kg person, big, standing there with a nice thin instructor. And below it was written, fat model, skinny controller. Powered by rails. That's it. I gave up jogging because I had concerns about it. You know, it's time we actually looked ahead. So, did y'all celebrate Women's Day? Yeah? Y'all celebrated Women's Day? So, when was it, man? Last Wednesday sometime, 8th of March. And how would you celebrate Women's Day here? Gift, I like that. Yeah, did you celebrate Women's Day? So how would you celebrate Women's Day? You'd give them a gift, maybe? What kind of gift would you give the ladies on Women's Day? Come on, people.
Flowers.
Flowers, a book, an e-book, a raise, so, a gem. We have, in our office back home, we have our culture manager. Yeah. We have a people and culture manager. She's pretty cool. And she actually gave all the ladies in the office a mini cactus. A mini cactus is a potted plant that small, and a cactus is those fleshy, plant-like thing, which is pokey. A mini cactus. And I was aghast. I was like, what? A mini cactus? How is that even going to help anyone? What does it even mean? And she said, it's a sign of resilience. It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of how the cactus grows in the middle of a desert and goes against the odds. And I was like, okay, cool. I like it. At least it made some sense. Then of course the cocky person that I am, I had to ask her, you're the people and culture manager, so what are you going to gift men on International Men's Day? Back came the answer. A mini cactus. And I was now confused. Hey, hang on. What has that got to do with resilience and respect and going against the odds? Ah, I said. Is it because men are so sharp and to the point? And she came back and said, no. Because men are such pricks. Well, that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you.
Chris has disappeared.
Thank you, Gautam. Again, another round of applause for Gautam.